every 9 months of the year, I was a very good altar girl. I'd do the crosses, I'd do the walk, Palm Walk and Palm Sundays and all the Easter celebrations like a very good Catholic. I'd come home over the holidays and be a very good pathfinder.
I was forced by even my parents to go in school on Sabbath. Now I have purpose that when I go to high school, the same thing shall not be repeated again.
Formally, I went to Catholic till class 8.
Being in Alliance at that period of time, was the turning point. Challenged me to exactly know why I believe what I believe and take a stand. In 2014, that was when there was a big fight about the Adventists being allowed in class.
Many at times you have to be called from class to go to the deputy principal's office, to the principal's office to answer questions and sometimes take threats on behalf of everyone else. But these are things that you can't relay to members, in depth. So, you come out of that place, your faith is probably shaken. I personally I'd go and cry and wonder if I'm really making the right decision. But that strength that God kept giving us to go on, because these are some of the decisions that when you make, they affect generations to come. Had it not been for my experience through high school, to be honest, I don't know if my spiritual journey would have been where it is right now.
Being an Adventist in a national school like Alliance Girls, at first it's not an easy thing because the decisions you have to make, there's influence from your friends and peers, but one thing I've come to learn is that once you've made the decision, then it gets easier. When I was in Form 1, I was playing netball, and I was actually among the best playing the game. But then when I got to Form 2, in Form 1 our games were not really on Saturday, but then when I got to Form 2, something changed and most of our games are the seasons on Saturday. So it had to get to a point where I had to make the decision to stop playing this game. I know it's my best, I love it so much, but then the decisions I just have to make. So I had to make a decision to stop it. The main reason why I joined Technovation is that so that my problem would get to help the world, and eventually, even though it was not through me, it still got to the international level. So that made me happy. So it's not really about it. So long as God knows how He's going to handle it, then that's all that matters. It's a nice experience knowing that whatever you're going through at this moment, you're not the first one going through it. And knowing that someone like Ligala made it through, then it gives you the hope and the perseverance to just go through it, knowing that they made the same decisions you had to make, even harder, because for them it was not easy.
For my parents, even when we were selecting the schools to go to, it was very intentional. I think they had done their research, and we had word that there was freedom of worship in Mangu High School.
I just felt that my heart was at Mangu, but also that the issue about the Sabbath was a key factor.
So I was sent to a school by name JG Kiereni, but then the school did not have an SDA group, so my parents saw it best to search for me another school. So when we requested Chania, I was admitted at Chania.
It was great meeting together with other schools under the chaplaincy. The afternoon Bible studies were really eye-opening. Interacting, having communion in school. Great experiences we had truly during that time. Their conviction and commitment still to the Word of God encouraged us that it was possible to remain faithful to God even after high school.
Most of the principles and the foundational truths in the Adventist faith were learned at this place, and as such, I really owe much to that experience.
Most of the people are actually surprised that I'm pastor today. I used to do everything. I was in all the clubs. I was in drama, music, I was in rugby, I played a little soccer. I was almost everywhere. I was cheering. I was a cheering squad, I think, at some point. I was one of the leaders of the cheering squad. That tells you how my life in high school was.
I got this kind of experience from my high school. Around 4 members. we just, at some point, we were even discouraged. We were wondering whether we were in the right group or not.
We would have just about 5 people coming for the service, and you're on your own. Like, if you want to stand for your faith, there's no one who's going to help you. There's no one, there's no teacher who's going to stand for you. So yes, it's part of what I mentioned. That kind of adversity helped really define our faith. We had to decide for ourselves that this is what we want for ourselves.
I joined the school in 2009, and I found a very small group of around 12 SDA students. By then there was no any other SDA teacher, so the administration asked me to take over the group. Through the assistance of the Newlife SDA Church, we were able to conduct a fundraiser around 2011 there, and we got a keyboard. Our number has been growing steadily. From 12, now we are around 48.
I had some indiscipline cases with the school, and at times I got to get punishments even from my teachers, until I got to Form 2, when I was given a responsibility in the church as a chairperson. When I became a chairman in Form 3, in Form 2 that is, so I was a chairman in Form 3 and Form 4. So I was the best student since the first term of Form 3.
I entered the SDA group when still in Form 2. I went to a Brain House Primary School in Mathare, but at that time I was the CU chairman. So it's only in China that I've become an SDA member.
I had been told that in SDA you will be able to learn more about God and be able to prove whatever the people say through the Bible principles.
When I joined Mangu High School, it was my dream school, because then I was from a Catholic church. Until Form 2, the time that my chaplain, at that time it was Jeremiah, he realized I was a new member. Also I remember Elder Abala bought me a songbook, and that songbook I felt at home, and I enrolled in the baptismal class, and I was baptized that was 2013 when I was in Form 3. Then that 2013 I was in charge of library, and I was given books to take care of the books, mostly the Ellen G. White books, and each and every time I was reading them, and that's how I get to grow in Adventism.
Here at school, we've received the historicals, which we have gone through together with my fellow members.
I was not born as an Adventist. I was converted when I was in my final year of high school. A lot of what I know about the Bible, about the Word of God, I gained through chaplaincy.
I like support, like now you're doing some missions. So I like the pamphlets of the historicals of prophecy, books of prophecy, so that by the end we go out of this school, we'll have left a big group, because many still don't know the truth, and we have to go and spread to them. And also you will need a backup, like the chaplains, people coming and teaching us new things, so that we may go and also spread them to others.
When at home, most people don't accept you as an SDA, for they find you trying to run away from your various duties on that day.
I also fellowship at home, even though I have some challenges. Like my parents don't want me to go to SDA, but still, since I know the truth that you have to worship on the Sabbath, I've decided to worship on the Sabbath, whether anybody accepts it or anybody doesn't accept it.
I was worried about my mom, because he was passionate, and he believed in me in most of the times, and the thing about being a priest, it was in her heart. After telling her about me joining SDA, she didn't resist, and I thank God for that. But I was praying while in school, and the time that I went home, I told her about the idea of being an Adventist, and it wasn't so hard, because my character had developed from whatever I was before.
Actually, what really hit me when I got there was the music, just the harmonies and everything. You get into a congregation where you have like 70 students, all men, of course, because it's a boys' school, and they were singing so beautifully. And already instantly, because already I was starting to feel homesick because it was my first time to be in a boarding school.
But initially, the reason why I think I loved the SDA setting in Alliance Girls was that it was the first set of people that was actually able to sing right. At least the notes sounded very musical in my ears as compared to where I'd been before.
I think it laid the foundation. It helped me discover my gift and nurtured it. And now I'm not only taking part in it, but also helping other people come to realize that if you're gifted, the gift comes from God and you need to use it for His glory only. So I think it was where I discovered the gift.
I have very talented boys, especially as far as music is concerned, and they really love singing. Currently, they have already composed some music of their own, and they would want to produce it.
Musicians who are watching this, come and train us as Chania High School SDA Choir.
The chaplaincy department started in a very humble way in the mid-1990s. As the year 2000 came, the chaplaincy department had grown. We had many schools that were visiting, and there was need to now incorporate the chaplaincy as a department of the church.
I joined chaplaincy in the year 2001, and from that time onward up to today, I still love the young people in schools, and I'm still a chaplain. When we started going to Chania with Elder Amos Oscar, it was very interesting that we were worshiping under a tree and we had only 5 students.
When I joined Form 1, we used to worship in the shade, under the trees, and even up to now we keep on being told to shift from one location to another, and this disrupts the flow of events in the church.
The continued influx of chaplains, because as other chaplains move forward in their life, they gain life partners, they may even leave the city, they go to other areas where the chaplaincy programs are not so developed, so they don't have opportunities for themselves to engage in the program. We need fresh blood.
You know, people are telling you you're too young, you're all that, and you come to realize this is a very good opportunity to learn and to be able to tell people of your experience. Because you know, the mere fact that I'm young, I've just been in high school some time back, so I am able to understand. I'm in their age bracket, I can see. So
you're very young. Sometimes you don't have the wisdom to know how to deal with emotional issues that students have. We thank God that in God's work, there is no infant. It's only God that imparts knowledge to people.
Maybe that challenge can be money at some point of the month. Yeah, we have come.
It's not even a sacrifice, it's a privilege to come and share the word of God. The same way you benefited, the same way you can benefit others.
The students will need the quarterly lessons, and we do not have particular budgets for this. Each of the students should ideally have the quarterly lesson, and these lessons have to be donated by individuals. Each of the school will need hymn books. If singing has to be good during the service, each of the students need to have a hymn book. We have challenges of having these hymn books because they again have to be donated by individuals, the people who mainly go to school. Like when I started, I was a student. I did not have a lot of resources. You have to go all the way to Hot Springs, which is a distance from Newlife Church. It requires a lot of money, and for a student, somebody has to sponsor this person. And the people they identify with are those in the chaplaincy department. So sometimes it becomes a challenge to finance all the students who are going to various corners where our schools are located to get the bus fare to and from those particular places. Not just students. Some schools are located far away. We have very many schools in Thika. We have Hot Springs, which is almost 100 kilometers away from here. And even if it's an elder who has to go there each and every Sabbath, it requires some resources. So what we are saying is that the department does not get enough support from the church budget because of the quantity or the amount of cash the department would need each and every year. So we depend on individuals to give us their contributions. So I want to appeal to you who is seated there that you can give us part of the resources. You can become as a resource person to go and talk to the students, either during the morning lesson study, during the divine service. You can be a preacher. You may never have preached here, but you can do it out there. You can conduct a Bible study, or you can give a donation that will go ahead to allow another chaplain who does not have money to do it out there.